Well, good morning, LFATV. The moment we've all been waiting for is actually here. Well, actually, the moment that I have especially been waiting for. Now, throughout the week, I finally got the final piece to the puzzle. And this is the reason why last week we couldn't keep on going on with the assembly of the engine, but what we have here is a Wiseco piston compressor. And the reason why we didn't go with like a regular, you know, universal piston compressor is because we didn't want anything to happen to the rings as we were installing them. Now, I know these are a little bit more pricey compared to the universal ones, but I figured we pay a little extra more and we get the right piston compressor, so everything works out fine. Let me open this real quick. The compressor that we actually went with is the same specs as my pistons, which is 3.5 millimeters, and this is gonna make our job a lot easier and prevent from anything happening to the rings as we're installing them. So there you go. We went ahead and stopped by the local auto parts store and just picked up some essentials. You know, some lubricant, some copper spray for the head gasket. I'm gonna be doing a wrinkled black theme for the valve covers, and we got all our bearings set, ready to go. Got the little strip to be able to check clearance on all bearings, make sure everything is as it's supposed to be. We stopped by Ace and went ahead and just picked up some bolts for our valve cover, or for my valve cover, just to dress her up a little bit, you know what I'm saying? And washers to go with it. Something pretty funny that I wanted to show you guys is I came across this. Check that out. Look at my lower control arm bushings. You think that's safe? I'm gonna leave them like that. So, time for some assembly. So in this particular case, we already installed the pin into the piston, but we still haven't installed the locking pins inside the piston. So I'll be showing you guys how Mr. Carlo Gallardo does it for the rest of them.
It's gonna take me a while.
Now these locking pins sometimes can be a little pain in the butt to get them on.
There it is.
There. So ain't nothing coming out, folks. Looks mighty nice. So first of all, Carlo Gallardo, what are we doing first?
I'm not doing shit.
We're gonna be checking clearances for the main rods. I mean for the, yeah right, for the caps.
Yeah, we're gonna be checking oil clearances for the main caps and the rods.
So what we're doing right now is actually applying some lubricant.
We're just gonna make sure that the machine shop did a good job. We're just double checking that's what we're doing.
And by doing a good job, we need to have a specific clearance on the crank and the rods for the oil clearance, right?
Yes.
So this little strip that Mr. Gallardo is about to put on the main crank is going to determine what type of clearance we have between the crank and the bearing. And when the main caps are actually installed and torqued down, we're going to actually do it as if we're actually installing it. And that would give us like a reading of what type of clearance we have between the bearings, the main caps, and the crank. So the point of it is when it's actually torqued down, that little strip is going to be squeezed down. And if you see on this, on the little packaging that it comes with, if I get it to focus, if you see on the packaging that it comes with, depending on what type of width it stretches out to when it's torqued down, it would give you a reading of what type of clearance you have between the bearing and stuff like that. So just in case you were wondering, because I used to always wonder what this was for as well. Well, look who decided to show up. Now this might be all personal preference, but depending on how many times you actually go in sequence of torquing down the caps, it's all depending on you. But we're gonna do 2 times, right? 3 times.
So as you can see, the oil clearance is right on. Perfect.
And that's how that works, ladies and gentlemen.
Same on this one.
Let it focus a little bit.
Perfect.
Nice.
Same on this.
All of them cleared out. So now that all the oil clearance checked out, we're giving it the final torque. Now one of the final steps to piston and rod assemblies to installing the rings.
And that's it.
Grab some little oil, know what I'm saying? To start lubing up the cylinders so we can stop dropping them suckers in. Know what I mean? Get her nice and lubed up.
Nice and wet.
So this is the crucial and scary part of dropping these bad boys in.
Nice hinges.
That's one of the reasons why we spent a few extra bucks to get the Wiseco piston compressor. You can see we didn't even use the mallet to try to drop them in, as it's made for that specific reason where you could just push them in.
There it is.
There it is, boys and girls. So basically the same process that we did on the caps, checking clearance. We're also got to do the same steps for the rods to check the oil clearance is all good to go before their final install. And there you go, people. Oh yeah.
Top dead center.
But anyways, folks, there you have it. You guys wanted more detail, I tried to give you more detail. That's officially part 1 for this build. If you guys are enjoying it as much as I am, for sure, stay tuned for part 2, in which we'll be installing the head, torquing everything down, and begin to assemble the rest of the block and the engine. I mean, not the block. The block is done. Alright folks, hit that subscribe button. So maybe one day when the Super Le Leon is done, I can maybe have a run with this bad boy.